embarkation area where we kept everything.
A number of Marines are now sick and dying from their contact with toxins while serving at MCAS El Toro. Toxins like TCE, trichloroethylene, a chemical used to clean jet fighters. But Marines aren't the only victims. School children, whose small bodies are less resistant to contamination with deadly pollutants, may have even less of a chance of weathering this storm in otherwise sunny Orange County. The El Toro Marine Corps School closed in 1999 along with the base.
We've spoken to one teacher who was here for a number of years, and she said that there were a number of teachers who died, young teachers who shouldn't have died that young from cancer, and children dying from leukemia. Now, leukemia has got, it's got that label tags with TCE, contamination for children. So that's a possibility. You're in a base that has the TCE in the soil and in the groundwater.
That teacher, Luann Silva, and I attempted to get inside of the old school where she had taught. We approached an Irvine police officer who guards the gate to see if she would let us in.
We're just worried that the school will eventually be leveled, and there's a little tree that was dedicated to one of the students who died from leukemia, and we're concerned that it's just going to be level and we won't be able to get any stills.
Are you talking about the Montessori school?
The old El Toro Marine School out off of Poussin Way.
Oh, did you go out there?
It's all chain linked.
Yeah.
And a lot of teachers died. One became blind. Just freaky, weird, one thing after another die in a school. Leukemias and brain cancers, which is related to TCE poisoning.
Wow.
Like the Marines who guarded this gate before her, this police officer is unknowingly being exposed to hazardous toxic chemicals.
There's just a lot of really scary stuff, and so it alarms us that they want to potentially have people living here. And even that you're here, that alarms me. I worry about you
I was
being
just
here.
thinking that you're exposing yourself to this every day, just like we did. We were so sick, the teachers and the students. We were so sick. As soon as we left, it all pretty much clears up. Yeah.
It seems like a story that never stops repeating.
One point I'd like to make about this school, and we heard reports about this, that the teachers who taught here said that when they would come to school in the morning, they'd have to wipe off the tables and the chairs because the JP fuels that were being exhausted by the jets would just discolor everything on the inside. And we're talking, as Bob said, we're talking about chemicals, and the technical phrase is VOCs, volatile organic chemicals. Jet fuel is a volatile organic chemical, and it too has health implications. So can you imagine having kids that were exposed to this day in and day out, right here in a little schoolhouse, and you think, oh my God, what are they suffering from now?
The El Toro Marine Corps Air Station was the epitome of what you would call a transient community. People would be here for a year or two. Today, everyone is somewhere else.
Folks are all over the world now. The families that send kids here, and it closed in '99, I believe. So it's been 10 years. So, and the latency effect of cancer. You're talking a big delay between exposure to something like TCE, PCE, and onset of cancer. And of course, children's immune systems they're developing. They're vulnerable.
For people who aren't even here and have never stepped foot on El Toro, the thumbprint of El Toro is in their DNA, and if they're having problems that they can't explain based on never happened in their family before, then they have something to look at is, well, my father served, or my mother was at El Toro, or I worked at El Toro. And so that's the other big issue is the DNA bending, if you will.
Earlier this week, we reported about how this massive contamination zone is slated to become a park and housing community of all things. For that mad and irresponsible plan, you can thank the city of Irvine, home builder Lennar Corporation, and the Great Parks Corporation. But as John Aldrich says, the Marine Corps itself and the Navy can't entirely duck responsibility, though they try.
There hasn't been a lot of come forwardness on the part of the present Marine Corps to alert people who are at places like El Toro or Lejeune, although they're starting at Camp Lejeune to notify people that they may have been exposed to a problem. But because this one is now off the list as a operational military base, they don't seem to be obligated to do that. And I think we need to push them, the Marine Corps, in the direction of being honest and open with the troops, with their families, with the people that worked here.
It seems bad enough that Marines and other service members and base employees were all subjected to the toxins at El Toro, but having school children exposed to it, also with no warning, no contact from the government, no follow-up once the information was known, is a sign of a government that is anything but responsible. From the former El Toro Marine Corps Air Station in Irvine, California, I'm Tim King reporting for SalemNews.com.